Hey guys, what's up? Dr. W here, and welcome to This Week in Destiny. In this episode, we're going to talk about Iron Banner returning, Solstice of Heroes next week, and also we're going to rank the 10 Destiny DLCs so far. And instead of starting with Iron Banner, I actually want to start with the DLC thing, because I think that's the most interesting. So, the 10 are Dark Below, House of Wolves, Taken King, and Rise of Iron from Destiny 1, and Kosovo Cyrus, Warmind, Forsaken, Season of the Forge, Season of the Drifter, and Season of Opulence from Destiny 2. Now, I broke the seasons into the 3 separate seasons instead of including them all into one, season pass DLC, because I feel like the seasons have as much content as some of the smaller expansions like Kosovo Cyrus or Dark Below. And as you'll see in my rankings, I think the seasons are actually, for the most part, better than all of the smaller DLCs that we have gotten from Destiny so far. So without further ado, let's start. And I'm going to say the number 10 is in ascending order. So the worst DLC for either Destiny so far has been Kosovo Cyrus. I thought the space was lackluster. It was too small to even ride your Sparrow on. The public event is like one of them. The Infinite Forest was not infinite at all, it was a real letdown, and I feel like that's probably the lowest point in Destiny's history, is Kosovo Cyrus. So next up, number 9, which I struggle with my number 9th pick, because it is Season of the Drifter, which I actually really enjoyed. I played tons of, but at the end of the day, it's just Gambit. There's no raid included like in the smaller DLCs, and there's not really much story. There's like the 9, bounties and stuff, but that's not great. There's not great amount of cutscenes and not really that engaging, and the bounties were just go here, kill these things, repetitive stuff, so that wasn't great. There's no raid, like I said. It all revolved around Gambit, which if you don't like Gambit, there was no reason to play this season. And, I don't know, I like the armor from it, or what the armor could become, The armor, going into Reckoning and getting it, and then that armor just working in Gambit wasn't great. But I like the idea of having sets. So hopefully in Shadowkeep and future expansions, we will get sets. But, as it stands right now, Season of the Drifter is my 9th favorite Destiny DLC. Next up, we have The Dark Below, which is the first expansion to Destiny. And this is when I started falling off. I played a lot of D1 when it came out. I beat the raid. Multiple times, and I really enjoyed it. There was a lot missing, and I started getting sour on the game once I beat the raid a couple times, and was like, man, this is it. And I was really hoping for something else. And then Dark Below came out, and I just felt underwhelmed. It had a new raid, and I really like Erismorn and all that. I'm glad to see her returning in Shadowkeep. But Dark Below was just so lackluster. And I felt like it wasn't bad, it just didn't have enough to keep me around personally. And that's why it's number 8 on my list. After that, we have the second small expansion for D1, House of Wolves. And I think this is around the point on my list, about number 7 up, where I actually started liking the DLCs. Because House of Wolves I played a shit ton of. Especially Prisoner of Elders. I really enjoyed the mode. I know people have problems with it, and I can agree that if it were to come back, there needs to be some fixes. But all in all, it was just a mode you can get in with your friends and just grind, and I really enjoy playing it. I thought all the characters they introduced with the Prisoner of Elders was cool. I liked the story, and I don't know, it revived Destiny for me when it came out. I thought Destiny was done, dead. I was putting it up, Dark Below underwhelmed me, like I said. But then House of Wolves came out, and that really, revived Destiny for me. And for that, it earns the 7th spot. Next up, with the number 6 spot on my list, is Season of the Forge. Now, in transparency, I didn't play Season of the Forge when it came out. I only played it once I was done playing Season of the Drifter. But going back, there's a lot of good stuff in there. I really like Ada 1. I think her story's interesting. I feel like even though there's no cutscenes in Season of the Forge, there's more of a story there than in Season of the Drifter, which I appreciate. And I like the Forges more than I like Gambit and Gambit Prime. Even though I really wish you could just spawn into the Forges like a strike instead of having to spawn in and then run to the Forge. That's what's holding it back a little bit for me. But I like the idea of grinding the specific weapons you want. Even if the bounties I feel aren't greatly executed, I don't really have fun going after the frames and such. But the Forges on their own and Ada 1 being interesting like she is, I think that's enough for it to earn the 6th spot on my list. So we're halfway through, and with the 5th spot, I'm giving it to the second of Destiny 2's small expansions, Warmind. Now, I've watched some videos, and I've heard people say Warmind is their least favorite expansion, and I'm just not sure why that is. I mean, I thought it had an interesting story. I liked the Ice Hive. Yes, it is a recycled character model, but I enjoy the storyline of the Ice Hive, and I like all of the Bray Tech stuff, and Honor Bray, and Escalation Protocol. I'm pretty sure that's the name of it. Escalation Protocol's fun and enjoyable. I like going back to Mars, and I like the boss. You know, even if you do the strike, that's the final mission. It's still a really interesting thing. Although I do feel like they wasted that one god Zol, you know. But I thought it was a really interesting DLC, and I like the stuff that it added, and it kept me engaged for a while, a month or so after playing it. So for that, it earns the number 5 spot. 4th on my list is Season of Opulence, which, since it's just a seasonal thing of content, I think speaks a lot for how great it is. You know, there's a menagerie, which is probably my favorite activity in Destiny so far. There's also a new raid, so it has, you know, a bunch of in-game content, especially since the menagerie has prestige mode. There's the Triumph Hall, which is a great addition. There's so much to do. You know, you can get all these armor pieces and all these weapons for the menagerie. And though they did nerf the menagerie chest thing, so you can only get one at the end now, I feel like it is still a fun event, and the stuff you can chase keeps average players, is going to keep you engaged for a long time still. You're probably still engaged trying to get everything if you're, you know, a casual player. And the hardcore players who've ran the Menagerie 500 or so times really can't complain because, you know, they had fun running the Menagerie 500 or so times. So I feel like Season of Opulence has delivered a great amount of content. It has kept me engaged the entire season. I am stoked for Solstice of Heroes, and I feel like I'll be excited and still playing Season of Opulence right up until Shadowkeep comes out, which is an impressive thing to do. So my top 3. I feel like everybody has the same 3 DLCs in their top 3 if they were ranking them like this. Number 3, I think, is obviously Rise of Iron. It's a smaller DLC, but it's substantial, you know? You have your Siva enemies, an interesting storyline with the Iron Lords, you know, a new space to go to, a lot more stuff to do. And I played Rise of Iron almost up until Destiny 2 launched. It was fun. There was just so much to it that kept me engaged. And I think that is a returning theme in this discussion about what the top 10 DLCs are, is being engaged for a long period of time until the next update comes out. Rise of Iron kept me engaged almost until Destiny 2 came out, and that speaks high volumes to it. So top 2. I struggle with these. I struggle with them a lot, actually. And in the end, it came down to me liking the Scorn more than I like the Taken. So that's why Taken King is number 2 on my list. Because the Taken are so fucking annoying. I hate seeing the Taken in anything I do. They have been reused so much. Yes, the Dreadnought's an interesting space. Taken King's a great story. The new supers they added, it kept Destiny alive. If the Taken King wasn't as great as it was, Destiny would have died. There would be no Destiny 2. There would be no Forsaken. You know, the Taken King really revived the series. And it's a great piece of DLC. But at the end of the day, I think the Taken are a less exciting faction than the Scorn. And that brings us to Forsaken, which I think is Destiny's best DLC so far. And Shadowkeep has a lot to do to try to match that. Because Forsaken has a great raid. A great story. I really love the story of Forsaken. The new supers are great. And it also adds 2 new areas with the Tangle Shore and the Dreaming City. And the Dreaming City is just in-game content, which I think is something that I hope Bungie continues to push forward with Shadowkeep, is just in-game content. Because the Dreaming City has so much secrets to explore, so much to do there, and it's really exciting to play. You know, I like the characters they added in Forsaken. Like I said, the Scorn, I like them more than the Taken. They might be... Thinking on it, they're probably my favorite faction. They're really interesting. And just the whole thing, just the whole DLC is so great. It really revitalized Destiny 2. Probably revitalized it more than Taken King revitalized Destiny 1. And so that's my top 10, guys. Just a quick overview. 10 is Kosovo Cyrus. 9 is Season of the Drifter. 8 is Dark Below. 7 was House of Wolves. 6 is Season of Forge. 5 was Warmind. 4 was Season of Opulence. 3 was Rise of Iron. 2 was Taken King. And number 1 was Forsaken. So thanks for watching this video. If you want to subscribe, like, share, and comment if you enjoyed it, that would mean a lot to me. And now I'm going to get on to the rest of the news. So, next up, reminder, Iron Banner starts right now. If you're listening to this video, if you're watching it, Iron Banner is happening right now. So remember to go in there and get some quests done if you haven't got your full set yet. Remember, there's a new quest line to do, so make sure you're picking those up so you and your team can complete those while you're playing. And that's about it for Iron Banner. You know, it's Iron Banner. I'll probably post a gameplay video of me running some later if you guys are interested, so be sure to check that out on the channel. And the last piece of news for this week is that the Solstice of Heroes starts next week. So I'll be posting a lot of Solstice of Heroes content. I plan on diving deeply into that. Right, this week is like a low week, because last week I was doing Triumph Hall stuff and what's the name of that gun? Bad Juju stuff. It's my favorite gun. I can't think of the name of it. That's great. But this week's kind of a low week. I'll dabble into my Iron Banner. And next week when Solstice of Heroes starts, I'm looking really forward to that. So that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out all my other content. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment. It means a lot that you all have been supporting the channel so much lately. Be sure to check out my other videos. Like I said, I'm going to be posting some other gameplay of Destiny 2 with the Iron Banner stuff. I've also gotten back into XCOM 2, which is actually going to be the Variety Hour video for this Friday. So be sure to check that out if you're interested in that. I really appreciate y'all watching, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Thank you.